Unit 8.3 Administer fitness tests. Client consultation and profile. Tests. Yo-yo test. Protocol. The yo-yo test is carried out by having two cones set up each end of about 30 meters. You run the 30 meters between the cones and must reach the cone and turn at the same time as the bleep. The speed of the time between bleeps increases and you continue until you can't run that in time to make the bleep. Requirements: markers to make the 30 meters, a timer, a video or audio of the bleeps. Second test, 30-meter sprint test. This test involves running a single maximal sprint over 30 meters with the time recorded. A thorough warm-up should be given, including some practice starts and accelerations. Start from a stationary position with one foot in front of the other. The front foot must be on or behind the starting line. This starting position should be held for 2 seconds prior to starting and no rocking movements are allowed. The tester should provide hints of maximal speed and encouragement to continue running hard through the finish line. Requirements: measuring tape or marked track, stopwatch or timing gates, cone markers, flat and clear surface of at least 50 meters. Forestry step test. The client steps up and down on the step, leading with either leg. Males are to use a higher step than females. After 1 minute of stepping, record how many step up and down the client does in 1 minute. Requirements: step or platform, stopwatch, or cadence tape. Sit and reach test. Test involves sitting on the floor with legs stretched out straight ahead. Shoes should be removed. The soles of the feet are placed flat against the box. Both knees should be locked and pressed flat on the floor. The tester may assist by holding them down with the palms facing downwards and their hands on top of each other as side by side. The subject reaches forward along the measuring line as far as possible. Ensure that the hands remain at the same level, not one reaching further forward than the other. After some practice, the subject reaches out and holds the position for at 1 to 2 seconds whilst the distance is recorded. Make sure there are no jerky movements. Requirements: sit and reach box. Sit-up test. A common method of performing a sit-up fitness test is to record the maximal number of sit-ups in a certain time period, such as 30 seconds or 1 minute. Alternatively, the test may be performed at a set tempo and the maximum number of total sit-ups is recorded. For this method, a metronome may be set up at the desired tempo, or an audio recording of the pace may be used. Requirements: audio, mat and timer. Press-up test. A standard push-up begins with the hands and toes touching the floor. The body and legs are in a straight line, feet slightly apart, and arms at shoulder width apart, extended and at a right angle to the body, keeping the back and knees straight. The subject lowers the body to a predetermined point to touch some other object or until there is a 90-degree angle at the elbows. Then return back to the starting position with the arms extended. This action is repeated and the test continues until exhaustion or until they can do no more in rhythm or have reached target number of push-ups. Requirements, mat and timer. Client's documentary, PAR-Q, and informed consent. Test data collection sheet. Yo-yo test. Your results 14.4. 30-meter sprint test. Your results were 4.86 seconds. Forestry step test. Your results was 38 in 1 minute. The sit and reach test, out of 3 goes, your first go was 25 centimeters, your second go was 28 centimeters, and your third go was 27 centimeters. The sit-up tests, the result was 36 in 1 minute. The press-up test, your results were 18 press-ups in 1 minute. Reasons to defer or terminate testing. If the client has extreme exhaustion, if the client has a shortness of breathing or is finding it difficult to breathe, if the client has an irregular heartbeat, if the client has an excessive blood pressure of about 220 to 115, if the client is suffering from any cramps or pains, if the equipment fails, or finally if the client requests to stop. Risk assessment. Test justification. Component of fitness, aerobic capacity. Test selected, yo-yo test. We did this test because my client wanted to focus on aerobic capacity, as she felt it was her weakest component of fitness. Aerobic capacity is important for a netball player because a netball match lasts for an hour of 15-minute quarters. This means she has to maintain aerobic fitness levels throughout the game. Component of fitness, speed. Selected test, 30-minute sprint. We did this test for my client because speed and acceleration is crucial for netball players because the movement on a small court has to be quick, getting free of defenders to execute accurate passing under pressure. Component of fitness, muscular endurance. Test selected, forestry step test. The forestry step test was chosen as muscular endurance is important for a netball player as they are continuously using muscle groups such as quads and hamstrings over a long period of time in the match. Component of fitness, flexibility. Test selected, sit and reach test. We use the sit and reach test for flexibility as this is an important element of fitness for a netball player as they are constantly changing direction and agile movements are needed to get free and create space to pass or shoot. Component of fitness, muscular endurance. Selected test, sit-up test. The sit-up test was used because muscular endurance in the abdominals is crucial for balance, for example when catching a pass using the correct footwork so that you don't get travelling violation called. Component of fitness, muscular endurance. Test selected, press-up test. We did the press-up test because it's vital for a netball player to have good muscular endurance in the arms as they are constantly throwing passes throughout the 15-minute quarters. Administrating test evidence. Client results and evaluation. Yo-yo test results. We tested your aerobic capacity and evaluated your results by inputting your results in an online converter. Your results were distance ran 600 meters, VO2 max was 41.4 kilogram per minute. Looking at the normative data, see slide below the normative data, we can see that your results are below average for a female of your age. This means that your supply of oxygenated blood to your muscles is less than optimal, and this will affect your body's ability to work at high intensity, and it will affect performance levels. To improve this, we recommend working to improve your aerobic capacity by doing HIIT, high intensity interval training. At the high intensity period, your body will use ATP from its anaerobic system, but in the recovery period, it will need to work its aerobic system to replace the energy spent. The HIIT training should be used sparingly through, so no more than 2 sessions of 45 minutes of high intense interval training per week to prevent overtraining. Another way is low intensity steady state training. Can also be used to improve aerobic capacity. It is a steady working rate that over a longer length of time, which is a lower stress form of training than HIIT, high intensity interval training, and is a good method to use alongside high intense interval training for cross training. Due to it being less intense, we will be looking to do this more often, of 3 sessions a week for about an hour. Cross training is another way that we can aim to improve your aerobic capacity. For example, completing a high intensity interval training on day 1 and a low intensity steady state training on day 2 and a circuit training activity on day 3 will reduce the risk of injury and overtraining, and will work the muscles in different ways, developing stronger aerobic capacity. It's important for us to monitor the results from this test, as it gives us a baseline level of your aerobic capacity and fitness. From the baseline, we can monitor your improvements during the training program and amend if accordingly to maximize your improvements. It's a valid test as there is accurate equipment recording the runs, meaning there isn't any human error which could mess up the results by not seeing if a client misses the line. It's also a reliable test as the gates are very efficient and effective and don't allow any mistakes. Normative data for the yo-yo test. 30-meter sprint test results. We tested your speed in the 30-meter sprint test. We saw that you have a speed of 4.89 seconds, and looking at the normative data, we can see that your results are a little below average by 0.01 seconds. This means there is a scope to improve your speed to average or even above average levels. We will improve your speed by using plyometric training, such as doing 3 sets of 10 reps bent knee hip thrust on a ball or bench, and slowly increasing the reps. This will improve your isometric and eccentric hamstring strength. Care will need to be taken to avoid injuries, as plyometric training is high intensity training with more likelihood